Wonder Woman number 37, James Robinson writing, Carlo Pugolane on art. This, I mean, this is
Talking
better.
about
They're
talking
just.
about amounting to a whole lot of nothing.
Oh, that's a fair point. I I do think this is a better than the last couple of issues, mainly because it's mostly just an action scene. And to be fair, the art handles the action quite well. Like I think the
Yeah.
actual the pacing of the fight, the fighting through the streets and whatnot. I think all of that's fine. All of it's solid
Yeah.
fighting stuff.
If I never see Darkseid again, it'll be too soon. I like him as this unseen threat that, and maybe that's just the Mr. Miracle
It might be the Mister
stuff
Miracle
coming
talking.
through, and the way that King handles him. But I like him as an off-scene threat because when you see him as a teenager fighting Zeus, it's just kind of like, well, cool, I guess. I don't.
And by the way, I'd completely forgotten that Jason turned good by the end of the last issue because I was confused at first when he kept trying to help. I'm like, what's happening? Jason was evil.
But does it matter? Because I
I
mean,
don't know.
I feel like Robinson changed course halfway through writing this because this does not line up with what we'd started with.
I don't know. I'm not going to even speculate to that. I honestly, my big problem with this issue, because the issue itself as a fight issue is kind of okay. My big problem is that all the emotional beats, anything to do with Jason, fall completely flat
Uh-huh.
because I didn't buy him at first, and then I didn't buy his turn back to the good side after being evil for like a day.
Yeah.
I didn't buy any of it. So at the end of this issue, when like Zeus is dead, Darkseid basically all these other deaths of all the new gods
Uh,
was all just to lure out Zeus so that he could take Zeus's energy and become Darkseid. So we have full Darkseid again. Darkseid's back, and he goes off with Grail. But we have this moment then. The book ends in this supposedly touching moment with Wonder Woman and Jason hugging and saying, "No, not your father, our father," and it's like them bonding as brother and sister. And I was really hoping he was going to die this issue, just so we never had to bring up Jason again. But
You and me both.
unfortunately, he's still around, and I'm supposed to care about their hug at the end. I don't. I don't give a
You know what would
shit.
have been cool? Because again, I made fun of teenage Darkseid, but I kind of like that look for him. Like I like the idea that he could have become Darkseid on Apocalypse later. Like him and Grail still escape, but what kills Jason is him trying to absorb his dad's energy. You know,
Yeah.
after that, like there's ways that I thought they could have gone. I do like how Darkseid and Grail counteract Diana by taking it to like a compact city
Yeah. Public
and just
place.
start causing
Yeah.
a public place, yeah, where they start causing all this damage, and she can't help herself but help the people. So that keeps her out of the fight with Zeus.
Yeah. She's too busy saving everyone else around
Yeah.
them to actually help the fight.
And there's a panel there where they straight up based her on Gal Gadot. Like I
Yeah.
can't.
It-
It,
Honestly, like the one thing I did kind of like in the issue was after Zeus dies, Diana's like, "I'm going to take on Darkseid myself," and
Yeah.
even though it took the whole league before, and then the league shows up behind her, and
Yeah.
Darkseid runs, she's actually kind of pissed because she's like, "I knew I could have taken him this time," and I don't know if I believe her necessarily, but the idea that she's that angry, I kind of like. I
she had
like,
that fire.
yeah,
Yeah.
I like the idea that she's ready to take him on one. That's kind of a fun little moment. It's just kind of wrapped around a lot of things I don't care about, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason's a big wet fart. I don't know what the point of him is.
He- It was John's being like, "Hey, this will be cool for later," and then realizing like, "Oh, well, maybe we should pay this off," and then not like because again, it was a weak concept to begin with. This could have been the third Summers Brother just forever teased, to borrow from Marvel. Anytime you have a mystery like that gets paid off, it's never going to be as good as you've imagined it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Long lost brothers, sisters, that kind of thing, it 99% of the time just sucks.
Yeah.
It almost never is satisfying, so stop it. Please stop it. But yeah, so Jason's whatever, and I cannot wait for the next full-time writer on this. Like, no, I mean, Robinson's not a bad writer, but like necessarily. But
It's not coming from where we came from. We had Rucka, which again, like great, whatever. And then Fontana, which I complained about at the time, I would gladly trade.
yeah,
Because at least
I
that was
want to go back to
fun.
that. And that,
You know what I mean?
that had fun elements to it. Some of the plot elements were a little bit rushed, but there was fun moments
Yeah.
in there.
That was fun, and this just felt like a slog to get through. Like Wonder Woman went from being one of the first things I read every week
To the
to
last.
near the bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that. And what is with the? It starts with with what's his name, Steve, like giving a rundown of the situation, and it never gets back to that at all.
You know,
like,
I'd completely forgotten about that. That's a good point.
And what about? And the only reason I know is I just flipped through it as we're sitting here talking about it. And what about Giganta? That whole plot thread didn't lead to anything, did it?
Maybe for the next arc. Maybe that was set up for that.
Because it's teasing Silver Swan, who my only familiarity comes from the early Rucka stuff.
Yeah, no, that's where I know her from.
And that's pretty cool because that deals just with her betrayal that she feels Diana did. So it's a more personal thing. So might be more Robinson speed.
Yeah, hopefully this next arc's better. But I'm ready for them to announce whoever the next big creator is.